Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good morning, everyone. It's May 20th, 2018. And you know who I am. Alright, so I'm here at beforeitsnews.com. Santa Fe shooting, obviously another false flag terror operation. And immigrate while you still can. Operation Gladio C strikes again. State of the nation. In what other country does a high school kid armed with a shotgun and a .38 revolver smuggled under his coat show up at 7:30 a.m. to conduct a well-planned mass shooting? 1. How did he even hide a shotgun like that? Answer. These government-sponsored acts of domestic terrorism carried out under the rubric of Operation Gladio only occur in a nation targeted for draconian gun control measures like the United States of America. They only take place in a society that poses a formidable obstacle to a New World Order agenda determined to disarm every person on the planet. Operation Gladio. It's imperative that every U.S. citizen understands the real purpose of Operation Gladio C. It concerns an ultra-secret blueprint for triggering gun control legislation that is being implemented by a covert NATO-directed organization through the 50 states. Every school, elementary, high school, and college, especially large universities, is a potential target of this ongoing clandestine military operation. Each mass shooting is executed as a false flag operation, black operation, so that the true perpetrators can elude detection, which they always do. Let me stop right there for a moment. Same thing happened in Parkland. I keep calling that fucker Ted Cruz. Nicholas Cruz. There's no way possible Nicholas Cruz is guilty of killing those people. No way. Okay. The U.S. homeland has been targeted for decades, going back to the notorious Columbine mass shooting in 1999. Actually, this multi-decade shooting spree really started in Texas in the 1960s as follows. On August 1st, 1966, after stabbing his mother and his wife to death, Charles Whitman, a former Marine, took rifles and other weapons to the observation deck atop the main building tower at the University of Texas at Austin, then opened fire on persons indiscriminately on the surrounding campus and streets. Over the next 90 minutes, he shot and killed 16 people, including one unborn child, and injured 31 others. Why Texas? Because the state of Texas presents the single greatest threat to their superstitious plan. I said superstitious. Surreptitious plan of citizen disarmament. The irrefutable historical record clearly indicates that a highly disproportionate number of domestic terror events have been conducted in Texas since 1966. A careful accounting of every terrorist operation since the purposely disastrous Waco siege of 1993 reflects the reality that Texas has been under constant attack. It's entirely true. The NWO globalists are absolutely determined to take down the unusually independent and Lone Star state of Texas. The perpetrators know that Texas is the linchpin in their scheme to rifle through the remaining 49 states and territories, stripping gun rights from every resident except the illegal aliens, of course. Why is that? Just who are many of these UN-sponsored illegal immigrants, and what is their real intention by coming to America unlawfully? It ought to be transparent that, it ought to be apparent that the Texas-Mexican border is a very long, porous one. The opportunities, therefore, are countless for drug cartels and terrorist groups alike to slip in their members across the practically open border. Only with this critical knowledge will the true size and scope of the deep state conspiracy be properly understood. Texas is ground zero in the furtive scheme to undermine the sovereignty of the American Republic. So is California, but under the traitorous Jerry Brown, they follow every single order issued from the City of London. Why Santa Fe? The specific location of every false flag school mass shooting is chosen by purposeful design. Santa Fe, Texas is located 30 miles southeast of Houston. It sits between Galveston and Houston, right in the middle of a red county. These school massacres are always carried out either in a highly conservative locale like Santa Fe, or in the middle of a blue county like the Parkland shooting in Broward County, Florida. In both cases, the calculated plan is to incite an extremely strong reaction against gun ownership, who, after all, wants to see the school children repeatedly slaughtered. And that's how they're going to get the guns. They're going to continue to murder children. They're going to continue these false flag operations, like this one, Santa Fe, like Parkland, like Las Vegas, and so on and so forth, Sandy Hook, all false flag operations. Which, by the way, I recently saw an article where the statistics for Sandy Hook show no adult deaths on that day. In view of this well-established Operation Gladio strategy, the globalists will not relent in carrying out these false flag shootings. They will target the schools until there is sufficient groundswell of support to abolish the Second Amendment. This is just one reason why Santa Fe was selected. Deep State is especially targeting schools within the jurisdiction dominated by gun-owning patriots, such as those throughout Texas. Now, these are very, very compelling reasons why, number one, the law-abiding citizen should really think about breaking the law. What am I talking about? Well, if they don't know you have a gun, if they don't know because your name isn't on a list, it makes it kind of hard for them to get that gun, right? That's just a logical string of thought there. Christians targeted. Let's not forget that many of these conservative Christian communities have a very strong religious orientation. They are populated by folks whose faith in Jesus Christ runs very deep, as their biblical beliefs are unshakable. Hence, they present a particularly threatening posture to the exceedingly degenerate and fundamentally anti-Christian globalist agenda. The Spanish name Santa Fe translates to holy faith. Therefore, it should be quite clear that the NWO terrorists are intentionally challenging the faith of the faithful. The folks in Texas are being tested right now in their schools, in their churches, and in their businesses. What follows is a short list of the most recent false flag attacks throughout Texas since President Trump took office. This is just since he took office. Austin bombings. Deep State carries out false flag attacks to terrorize Texas. False flag attack. Texas church massacre was another black operation in PSYOP. Okay. And so on. Just as Garland, Texas is a bedroom community of Dallas, and the Austin bombing took place throughout that city and outlying areas. And the Sutherland Springs church shooting was conducted 30 miles east of San Antonio. Each of these terror operations has both a local and global agenda. This shooting outside of Houston is certainly no different. Because the Texas government had been such a staunch opponent of Obama's extremely depraved LGBT initiatives, Christian stalwarts throughout the state have been persistently terrorized. Operation Gladio C Black Ops are being utilized with extraordinary premeditation to victimize any group or organization that attempts to thwart deep state dark agenda. In point of fact, patriots and nationalists, Christians and conservatives, libertarians and Second Amendment advocates, Republicans and independents have been the object of so many false flags. You know, Las Vegas massacre hoax conducted around the country, while Texas is the primary prey of the predatory globalist cabal. These godless perps are determined to undermine the bastions of Christianity however they can. It's also instructive to revisit the last major school shooting in Parkland, another aggressively targeted state by the globalists. Not only was that mass casualty event carried out on St. Valentine's Day, it was also Ash Wednesday. Hence, the deliberate tarnishing of two religious holidays was accomplished through the cynical implementation of one savage false flag operation. Valentine's Day Massacre. Here's why the Florida high school mass shooting was a false flag black op. The greater Houston-Galveston metro area is also well known to, or in the underworld, as a major hub for many illicit activities. It is the site of several major and highly organized criminal operations that include human trafficking, arms trafficking, and drug trafficking. Many vectors of dissemination of drug trafficking in and out of Texas. The crucial point here is that many of these barbaric acts of terrorism are often used to send a strong message to those who are deterrents to such institutionalized criminal activity, just as the Sandy Hook massacre was used to issue a very serious warning to the many high-level corporate American parents whose children attend school in that extremely wealthy county, Fairfield County, Connecticut. Santa Fe was utilized in a similar manner. The only message for conservative parents is completely different than the one for liberals. Only the message, rather. It's important to point out that Houston has also been targeted by geoengineers who are in the employ of the globalists. While the state has been the site of several geoengineered and catastrophic weather events, such as the one fabricated to wreak havoc statewide, Houston has been specifically singled out for unparalleled devastation. Superstorm Hurricane Harvey is only one of the many man-made meteorological calamities to have hit the city with awesome effect. Hurricane Harvey, a geoengineered superstorm, targets Texas. Why? There's many reasons. Among them is the ability for them to steal the guns out of the homes that have been abandoned. Not only guns, but all the, precious things left behind, such as gold, diamonds, money, if there is any left behind. Just whatever they can take. These hurricanes are simply state-sponsored theft operations. And murder. Okay, so teenage profile. Why is that virtually all of these angry white teenagers who are set up as mass shooting patsies share the exact same profiles? They are, at once, on heavy-duty psychotropic medications or other psychoactive drugs. They have a long history of playing exceedingly violent video games. They have quick and easy access to AR-15 assault rifles, shotguns, revolvers, and bomb-making materials, and they are under the prescribed care of a psychiatrist, clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, MSW, or specialized school counselor for their extreme antisocial or violent tendencies. Exactly who do these psychiatrists and psychological counselors really work for? The CIA, MK Ultra mind control program? before you thumb your nose at that, it does exist. It's been proven. Many, many declassified documents and victims of MK Ultra. I would venture to say that many of the celebrities that are highly popular, like Lady Gaga, or I'm sure she's lost her popularity, but just an example, Britney Spears, all of them. All the really, really popular musicians. You know, you can't make it in the music industry without being a very, very twisted person. At least not anymore. Now, back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, that's where that takeover really started to take place. The takeover of the music industry to promote agendas. How many times do we have to watch the very same choreographed drama play across the TV news screen? Are the American people so mesmerized by the CIA's Mockingbird media that they cannot see through the endless false flags and obvious hoaxes? Is the multi-decade mind control programming being run on the American people also that powerful and pervasive? Now, many of you will know that I disagree with this, but I'm going to go ahead and read this sentence anyway. The nationwide opiate epidemic demonstrates that the body politic is taking way too many mind-numbing, body desensitizing drugs. No. No. It's not the drugs per se, although they do make things easier. Look, many of you know that I've had to go to pain management doctors, and that I've taken many opiate-based medications, i.e. Lortabs or hydrocodone or Percocets. These drugs are way less active than, say, fentanyl, heroin, and even morphine, but I've had that too, and I'm not sitting here shooting morphine up or taking it every day. So this notion that it's specifically the opiate drugs that are part of this is ridiculous. How can you even draw a line from mass shootings to opiates? I mean, there's no relation. It's the psychotropic, psychological drugs, the SSRIs, that are playing a role in this. Yes, if you already don't give a shit, the opiates will help you with that. They will help you not give a shit. They will numb you to emotion. But the lines just don't cross there. It doesn't make any sense. Again, I have had a seriously bad back injury for the better part of 25 years. I've been on and off prescription painkillers for that entire time. And yet, I have not gone out and murdered people en masse. Yet, I have not taking them when I don't need them. It's ridiculous. Now, if you're a heroin addict, yeah, you're probably fucking addicted to that shit. And you probably should stop. Now, I know a couple of people who do heroin, and they are a fucking mess. A mess. One of them, the ambulance in 1 week was at their house 3 times for overdose. Just stop taking heroin. Okay. Bottom line, the globalist cabal knows that it's just a matter of time when there is a critical mass of citizens who finally demand the repeal of the Second Amendment for the sake of the children. The globalists have won. Remember, if they can't, or remember, if they can put poisonous fluoride in our water for the sake of preserving the children's teeth, how much of it, or how much of a leap is it to so, these school shootings, the Las Vegas massacre, Sandy Hook, all of them, not a single one of them, not one, was an organic shooting. Not a single one. And if you believe that Nicholas Cruz had the ability to kill those people in the very, very short amount of time he had, to dress in the body armor, and not just dress, but undress, because after all, he stood in line with one of the students and had a conversation with that student. That student made no mention of this person wearing body armor, made no mention of this person having a gun, and said, what? There was a second shooting, or shooter shooting during that time. The teacher said, what? That she saw somebody shooting a rifle she'd never, or did not recognize, in full metal body garb. While it may not have been metal, but it sure sounds like a cop or some other law enforcement actor. Anyway, I thought I would share this with you. It's gone on for almost a half an hour. I hope you all have a great day. Remember, you kill the state before the state kills you.